The When It Worked podcast show with the host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by Chancellor Jackson and Mike Ritsema. Ritsema or Ritsema?
Ritsema.
Ritsema. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hey, man. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you.
Everyone's
Glad to be here.
pumped.
Glad to be here.
Let's roll. We're going to play Jeopardy. Let's load up the board. See what we got. All right. Today's categories are US Geography, Word Origins, Holidays and Observances, Musical Instruments, Quotes, and four-letter words. Mike, on the left, you can kick things off. What would you like?
Holidays and observances for 300. Give me 300.
300, please. Bennington Battle Day, August 16th, is a legal holiday in this New England state.
I'll go with Massachusetts.
That's the only one. What is?
Massachusetts?
It's actually Vermont. I didn't even know that Vermont was considered to be in New England. I always thought about Massachusetts because the Pats play in Boston, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Anyway, you're still in control, Mike. Don't be disheartened. What would you like next?
I'm in control.
You're in control?
Holidays for 100.
100 holidays. The most candy bought for a holiday is for this springtime. For this springtime one, not Valentine's Day.
What is Easter?
Good answer, Mike. You're on the board for 100. And Chancellor, if you know any of the answers, you just holler out. We don't have buzzers. Mike, what would you like next?
Well, we're going to stay with the holidays for 200, Julian.
Holidays for 200. The New Year's Day of this calendar can fall between our January 20 and February 20. Some sort of other.
What is the Chinese calendar?
The Chinese is correct. 2 for 2, Mike. What would you like?
We're going to hit that category again for 400.
Let's
Julian.
hit them up. 400. The red or white rose is the official flower of this Sunday observance in June.
I think in June I'm going to say, unless Chancellor, you want to answer it.
Sunday, something in June on Sunday.
Well, I know that Father's Day, I'm going to say, what is Father's Day? But I didn't know there was a flower associated with Father's Day.
Well, that's interesting because I think, down here we have carnations for Mother's Day, I think. Is that correct? Do you guys have that in the States?
Makes sense, yes.
Makes sense. So let's go with Father's Day, and it's correct. Well done, Mike.
Well, let's close that category out for 500, Julian.
Holidays for 500. Flag Day is a legal holiday only in this state where Betsy Ross worked as a seamstress.
I know this answer because I've been to her house, and I believe it's in Boston.
Boston.
In Mass. What is? We're talking about a state, Massachusetts. I hope.
Mike, you're wicked smart. Oh, no, you're not. Pennsylvania. You are still.
Boston. It's in Pennsylvania. What
Pennsylvania. Betsy Ross. Who's Betsy Ross, by the way?
I don't know.
Never heard of her.
Betsy Ross sewed the first flag in America. I think that's her history. I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, you're still in control. What would you like, Mike?
Oh, mercy. Let's try four-letter words for 100, Julian.
Four-letter words for 100. I know lots of four-letter words. You can do this from grace or on your face. So if you consider, imagine a politician that gets caught soliciting a prostitute and having to resign. That would be a something from grace. Or if you tripped on a banana, what would you do? on your face?
Fall.
Hello. Chancellor's on the board. Well done, Chancellor. You are at 100 and you're in control now. Let's get a zoom. I'm going to zoom in on Chancellor. I can't hardly see Chancellor. Hang on a minute. Whoa. Extreme close-up. There we go.
Let's do musical instruments for 100.
Musical instruments for 100. Here we go. Musical instruments. In the 30s, Lawrence Hammond patented the first commercially practical electronic one of these. In the 30s. Now, if you think about in the 40s and 50s, what was one of the first electronic instruments that you would have seen? When was the electric guitar out? It's got to be guitar or keyboard. That's my pick.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Keyboard.
I've seen Ray Charles play an electric piano in the Blues Brothers. That was in the 70s, though. Electric guitars, of course, were in the 70s already. But then you got those, like Chuck Berry in the 50s had an electric guitar.
I'm going to go with electric keyboard.
Keyboard.
Yeah.
Organ. I'm going to accept that as keyboard. Well done, Chancellor.
Crazy. Musical instruments for 200.
Musical instruments 200. The Highland version of this instrument has a blowpipe, a chanter, and 3 drones. Highland is in Scotland. There's
I'm
your
going to
clue.
say what is a bagpipe?
Bagpipe is correct, which is a beautiful instrument, but if you cannot play it, it makes horrible music. All right, you're in control now, Mike.
Straight down musical instruments for 300, Julian.
Musical instruments 300. In 1709, inventor B. Cristofori gave this instrument a name meaning harpsichord with soft and loud. Harpsichord. Now, I don't know. There's harp is the big thing with the strings that, like an angel female would play. I don't know. Harpsichord, though. What are those things that Weird Al plays? Do you know who Weird Al is?
Weird Al
Yankovic?
Yankovic.
Saw him in concert last year. Tremendous. But I don't know if that's what an electrical harpsichord is. Who knows? Have a guess.
I would have said what is a harp, but I'm not a country music fan, but the whatever they call that thing.
That anyway, piano, it's kind of a piano thing that plays automatically. That's called a pianola.
No,
not that. Okay. You mean this thing?
Nothing.
You mean this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Maybe. No, anyway, carry on. Go to the answer, Julian.
I've had it, he says. The answer is piano.
Piano?
Yeah.
Ha!
So it must have been...
Fascinating.
Yeah. Anyway, what would you like next?
Let's 400, same category.
Musical categories 400, also called a helicon. This 3-valve tuba wraps around the player's body and has a flaring bell.
3-valve tuba. Wraps around.
A 3-valve tuba wraps around. I just thought that was called a tuba.
So did I.
Mike, I'm going to give
I'll
it to you.
defer. I'll defer to Chancellor on this one.
What did you say, Chancellor?
A tuba. That's what it
Okay, yeah,
like.
I thought as well. Well, apparently it's a saxophone is what we're looking for.
No.
Who knows? I believe them. Anyway, should we do musical instruments for 500?
Please.
Knock it out.
Two types of this Italian plucked stringed instrument are the Neapolitan and the rarer Milanese. So it's a stringed instrument. Neapolitan.
Violin.
Good answer. Let's take a look. It was a mandolin. So close.
Wow.
I was thinking of Nick Cage had a movie about the mandolin player. I was thinking about that, but I couldn't remember what it was called. All right, you're still in control, Mike. What would you like? We got U.S. geography, word origins, quotes, and 4-letter words.
U.S. geography for 100, Julian.
100 geography. This river that rises at Lake Itasca drains about 1/8 of the North American continent.
Wow. 1/8.
A river. Must be a big river.
I'll defer to I have an answer, but I'll defer to Chancellor.
Chancellor,
first.
do you want to have a guess?
Mississippi.
That's what I was going to think. Isn't that the longest one in the States?
Yes.
So that could be one that drains most water. Let's take a look. The Mississippi is correct. Well done, Chancellor. Are you in the South or whereabouts are you?
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. It's hot in Atlanta, as they say.
For sure.
Chancellor, what would you like?
Let's do quotes for 100.
Quotes for 100. According to Jonathan Swift, these and pie crust are made to be broken.
Rules.
Rules. I was going to say rules or vows. Promises is what we're looking for. Never mind. Close. What would you like, Chancellor?
Close to 200.
Do people call you Chancey?
Females.
Females. Okay, well, I won't make that mistake. H.L. Mencken defined it as the inner voice which warns us that someone may be looking. Obscure quotes. Some of these are easier. This one's hard. The inner voice warns
What
us.
is conscience?
Conscience.
What is conscience?
Good answer.
Uh,
Is correct. Well done, Mike.
Quotes for 300, Julian.
Quotes for 300. Love and Death director who said, "It's not that I'm afraid to die. I just don't want to be there when it happens." Famous director, and he made a lot of comedy films. He wears glasses and he looks really nerdy. Jewish guy.
Seth
I don't
Rogen.
know.
Chancellor, what'd you say?
Seth Rogen.
You said Seth, whatever his name is. We're going to go back to the 60s when he was famous. He's then became a famous director. He wears glasses, little Jewish guy. He had a scandal.
Oh, I know. Who is Woody Allen?
You got it.
I wouldn't
I
have
think
guessed
you
that.
got it. Yes, you do got it. Well done, Mike.
Straight down quotes for 400,
Quotes
Julian.
for 400. Who said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself? You would have learnt this in high school. One of the presidents is my clue.
Who is Franklin Roosevelt?
Franklin Roosevelt is correct. Well done, Mike. Remembered
Quotes
high
for
school.
500, Julian.
Quotes for 500. A biographer claimed he said, "I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it."
It's a great quote.
Somebody that was into free speech. Well, a lot of people were back then.
Yeah.
These days, not so much.
We'll just say President. Who is President Kennedy? But
Kennedy?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Let's take a look. It was Voltaire. He was more of a
Voltaire.
philosopher, I
Going-
think.
Going back centuries. That's beautiful.
Oh, he's an old one, is he? Yeah. I don't know anything about philosophy. I fell asleep in that class. Somehow I passed it. What would you like, Mike?
U.S. geography for 200, please, Julian.
U.S. geography for 200. Of New York City's 5 boroughs, the one That is New York County. So, New York County.
I'll pick the only one that comes to mind. What is Manhattan?
Manhattan. Chancellor,
Chancellor, you want to take a run?
May as well have a guess. You got, what do you got? Staten Island, Queens. What else?
Yeah, I had Manhattan too. I don't think the Bronx or Brooklyn would be.
Is the Bronx a borough? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. We got the Bronx and we got Manhattan. It's Manhattan. Well done, Mike.
Only one that came to mind, 300 for geography, Julian.
300 geography. This lake was created when Hoover Dam was built on the Colorado River. A new lake. Well, it was then when it was built. The Hoover Dam is that big one that was, I've seen it in movies.
Oh, yeah. We've right by Las Vegas. I mean, I can picture the lake, I can picture the dam, and I can't come up with a name for the thing.
Hey.
Chancellor, have you got something? I think you've got something.
I
just read your face and I thought, he knows.
I've got one.
I've put you on the spot.
Champlain.
Now.
What is Lake Champlain?
Lake Champlain. It's Lake Mead. Is that, anyone know that one?
Nah.
Never heard of it. Lake Mead.
Nah.
Need to check that. What would you like? Should we do 400 geography, Mike?
Please, Julian.
In Kansas, more people live in this city than in Topeka and Kansas City combined. Which is the big city in Kansas? And it's not Kansas City or Topeka. Kansas. More people live in this city in Kansas. Kansas.
Wichita.
Good answer. Let's take a look. Chancellor. Here we go. Chancellor's on 700. Mike's on 2,000. You're in control, Chancellor.
500 for geography.
500 geography, U.S. geography. The 1842 Webster-Ashburton Treaty fixed this state's border with New Brunswick. What states are bordering New Brunswick? Where is New Brunswick? Is it on the East Coast?
It's a good question. I'm not Googling this stuff on the side, I'm telling you that.
New Brunswick.
I'm just going to suggest what is Pennsylvania, and if you want to pick a state, go ahead, Chancellor.
Yeah, I'll probably say Delaware or something like that.
Delaware. Okay, let's take a look. It was Maine. Maine is quite close to Delaware, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of up in the top right somewhere. I don't know. Why am I telling you? What do I know? I'm from down here. Chancellor, what would you like?
Let's do 4-letter words for 200.
4-letter words. Cuss words. Let them roll. No, it's not cuss words. A witch's concoction, whether or not it contains coffee, tea, or beer. Witch's concoction. Oh, okay. So it could be, if you go to the pub and get a craft beer, something has happened.
I don't know about that. I don't. Where are you from, Julian? What part of the world are you?
I'm from Australia.
Oh, you are down there, Australia. Yeah. Well, we don't call a craft beer a stew over here. We call that a dish you could eat for dinner. But I'm saying, what is stew?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a clue. It rhymes with that.
Oh. Okay. I got it. Go ahead, Chancellor.
Chancellor, here's your chance. Rhymes with stew. Coffee, tea, or beer.
It rhymes with stew.
How you make it. There's a Miles Davis album.
I'll concede this one to Chancellor with brew. I was wrong with stew. I was stuck on the witch's concoction.
Yeah.
Word.
Did you get? Did anyone get it? You get it, Chancellor?
I ain't get it.
Okay. Brew. I was going to say Miles Davis album Bitches something. Bitches Brew is an album he did.
Wow.
Anyway, who's in control now? Chancellor or Mike?
I ain't get that one. So.
You didn't get it, Mike?
300. 4-letter words, 300. Let's go.
4-letter words,
Julian.
300. A walking stick that probably isn't made of candy. 4-letter word.
Cane.
Cane sounds good. Well done, Chancellor. You're on.
I would have said pole. I would have been wrong.
1,000 versus 2,000, and there's plenty of points on the board for Chancellor to get the pick and go for 6. Chancellor.
Let's do 400 4-letter words.
4-letter words, 400. A repast or the ground up seeds of a grain. Ground up seeds like what flour is. Ground up seeds. Repast. Repast. That's a tough one. I don't know what that is.
Flour is not a 4-letter word, so
No.
sugar is not a 4-letter word. Let's see. You go to
or
corn
mill-
husk.
Husk. Okay, that's a good
Well,
answer. Let's take a look. It is called meal. Meal. Yeah, ground meal. I've heard of that before.
All right.
Yeah. All right, what we'll do one more question, then we'll wrap it up. Chancellor?
500 4-letter.
500
Word.
4-letter words. To meditate upon something or a person that is the source of inspiration for a creative artist.
Wow.
The artist might say, she is my
Muse.
Chancellor. Well done. You're on 1,500. Look, maybe we should keep going. You're catching up here. I can't just take away your opportunity to win. Let's finish it off. Chancellor, what would you like?
Word origins for 500.
Go big, says Chancellor. 500. This Scottish cap was named for the hero of a Robert Burns poem. Wow, that sounds hard. Scottish cap. One of those weird little old men caps. You know those ones? They got the little peaked bit, and then you see them in Britain. They wear them. Scottish cap was named for the hero of a Robert Burns poem. I don't know what those caps are called. What are they called?
Me either.
Let's take a look. It is called a tam o' shanter.
Of course.
Have you heard of that? Oh, you're joking.
No.
Yeah. Well, that was tough. Anyway, should we work our way backwards? What do you reckon, Chancellor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. From the Latin for hunger, it's a period when food is extremely scarce. What do we call it when there's no food? Latin for hunger. Hunger.
What is famine?
Famine. Good answer. Famine is correct. Well done, Mike. Excellent answer. What would you like? We've got 300, 200, and 100.
We're going straight up the board with 300.
300. From the Latin word for worm, it's defined simply as animals obnoxious to man. I got this one. What do you call?
It's also a 4-letter word.
I don't think so. Not
What
the
is
one.
pest?
Pest. Okay. Well, I was going to say vermin.
All right. Well, down south they call them vermin, but up here we call them pests.
Vermin is correct. Well done, Julian. Round of applause to Julian, the host. I didn't cheat. I didn't know the answer. You got to trust me. All right, let's do 200. Italian for first lady. It can refer to a temperamental woman or man.
What?
Bitch. No. Italian for first lady, it can refer to a temperamental woman or man. Italian for first lady. I got it. Got it. You might say this about, say, like Mariah Carey or Christina Aguilera, who kind of...
What is a diva?
Okay, now, I would accept that, but I think it's wrong. Chancellor, there's an opportunity here. There's two words. And think of first, number one in Italian, if you know what that is. Well, let's wrap it up. It could be diva, but I think it is prima donna, because prima means number one.
Prima.
That's the only way I got that one. Last question. This name for an earthenware beer mug is German for stone. A big mug that's kind of like not glass, and you see the Germans drinking them. What do you call those?
What is Stein?
Stein is correct. Well done, Mike. Too strong in the end. 2,500, but a very good comeback there. Chancellor got up to 1,500, so it was a pretty close game. A couple of those 500 questions, and you would have been able to get there. But thanks very much, gentlemen. Well played. That's the end of the game. Let's pop over to Mike and find out about what Mike's been up to. Now, Mike, you've had a lot of experience in business as an entrepreneur, ups and downs, lots of things. You want to tell us about what you've been up to and what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, I'm a sales type and sold food to restaurants for a number of years, had an opportunity to get into the computer technology industry, did that.
When was that?
That was in 1990.
Wow, that was an exciting time to be in computers.
Oh, yeah. Had a good run through the 90s, and in 2001 got a little bit cocky, said, I can sell this stuff so I can run a business, and bought a business with some investors in 2001, and it's been a dramatic ride ever since. Bought a technology company. I have a bunch of smart people here, and then I just go out and tell people you should work with our smart people. And so that's a summary of my journey into sales and into technology.
Is this your business I've got up here?
Yeah, sure.
And what do you do there? You do managed IT. So if a company is kind of growing and things are getting a little bit complicated to do in-house, what can they do with you?
Yeah, so I think in business worldwide, I always say there's four things that business owners want. It's productivity. I want to do more than with less, and that means we use tools and technology from the steam engine to computers. So productivity, profitability, we have to make money to pay the bills, to keep the doors open. Differentiation, how am I different than the competitors? And then lastly, risk management. So as a company goes from 1 to 5 to 10 employees, at some point you're using enough technology that maybe I should get some help with this. And that's where we come in, is we become the IT department for small businesses. That means we help them use tools more productively, but secondly, protect against the bad guys, right? Cybersecurity. So that's the business we're in, helping small businesses. We become the IT department, so you don't have to hire a very expensive person.
Yeah, the risk factor that you talked about. Do you want to give us some examples of what things can go wrong as far as cybersecurity as businesses start to grow?
I mean, recommendation number one to anybody listening to this is two-factor authentication. I mean, I don't care if it's your Gmail account, your business email account, any technology you're using a lot, personally or in business, two-factor authentication. An ATM card is two-factor authentication. It's what I have, the card, and what I know, the 4-digit code. You can steal my card, but if you don't have my 4-digit code, you can't use it. If you get my 4-digit code, you need my card. Two-factor authentication for logging into email. What can go wrong is if somebody gets in your email, they find your password. Oh, the same password you're using for Facebook and all other technologies. Please don't do that. A different password for every single site you log into. But if they get that password and they log into your business email, oh yeah, they can watch. They'll sit there and just watch and watch and watch. And then they'll pick a customer and say, hey, we changed our account number. Please send that $25,000 check to the new bank account number, and $25,000 goes right out the door. Or worse yet, or maybe not worse, but similarly, an email comes into me and I change a bank account and send $25,000 to the wrong account. Bad, bad, bad. Two-factor authentication, protect the risk of your business.
Yeah, it's a big one, and there are so many things that can go wrong, and they do. People are out there. If you ever look at the logs on your websites, there's people constantly trying to sort of hack into them and get your passwords. I don't know what they're doing, but I've been hacked before, and it's not until something goes wrong that you realize how vulnerable you are, because you have no backups usually when you start out. It is definitely something that you need to take seriously, and if you work with somebody who has that experience, that could just really make things a lot easier for you, because they know exactly what you need to be doing, and they take care of it for you. That's the good thing about having a managed service. You don't really want to have to deal with all this. So what types of businesses do you mostly work with, Mike?
Well, professional services businesses, a variety. We came out of distribution and manufacturing, so we have a number of distribution and manufacturing clients. We have financial services firms, legal firms, healthcare organizations, so a variety. We work with over 100 companies, so a lot of different industries.
Awesome. And if people want to get in touch with you, they jump on your website, schedule a quote. What happens there? Do I have a bit of a Zoom call with you?
Yeah, we'll get a notification. Well, we'll get a notification and we'll reach out to you. So people hit us on the website and we either call them or email, connect with them.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if you're starting to be at that point in your business where things are getting a bit complicated and you're thinking, do I need to hire somebody for this? Actually, one other question. What are the benefits of outsourcing versus hiring in-house IT people?
I use a round number and say, if you're going to hire somebody in America in IT, you either pay, let's just say, $50,000 and you get somebody that doesn't know that much. That's a problem. Or you spend more money in 2025, let's say $80,000 to $100,000. You get somebody that's really smart. But if you're a 5, 10, 20 employee company, that's expensive. Option B, pay a managed services provider like us $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. We do it all, and we know how to do it all.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And when you think about it, and also if you do hire somebody and they know all your systems and they know everything about your business, and then they leave, then you've got a couple of problems. You've got somebody that knows everything about your business, but also you've got to then train somebody. So yeah, this is definitely one thing that would make sense to outsource. I see a lot of people doing also the financial accounting stuff, outsourcing. Well, you do most of the time use an accountant, but I think your IT and your security, that is definitely makes sense. Seems to be much more cost effective. And also when you get a contractor in, they tend to do a good job because they're accountable in more of a way than sometimes employees get a little too comfortable, and you're never sure if they're doing everything they should be doing. That's where having an external person can pay off, I think. So if you've got your business, it's busy and it's growing, and you are not fully aware of everything you need to be doing as far as all your IT. You don't have backups, you don't have all your security locked down, then have a chat to Mike and just get a quote. You can work out. Seems pretty cost effective and seems to be a no-brainer for a lot of people. Thanks, Mike.
You bet, Julian.
All right, let's go down to Georgia. Well, actually, Atlanta, but you were from Georgia. Is that right, Chancellor?
Yes, sir.
Is Atlanta in Georgia? It is.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. And Chancellor, tell me about what happened to you in China before the tariff war.
Yeah. So I landed my first job teaching English to kids in China after I graduated from Stetson in 2018. I was supposed to do a year. I only ended up doing 6 months.
Tell us about that, first of all. What was it like before everything went down? What was it like teaching English in China? Was it a good job and a good experience before something happened?
Oh, yeah. China was absolutely harmonious, even post 14 days in Beijing. Like, it still overall was a great experience. We talking 14 days compared to the other 6 months where everything was just lit, and I was just exploring China, teaching kids. I'm working with kids as young as 3 years old all the way up to like 12, 13. But it was mainly working with the elementary school age range. So that was harmonious, meeting the other foreigners out there.
Can you speak Mandarin, Chancellor?
I knew just enough to move and groove. Like, I didn't know that much to have a full in-depth conversation with folks, but I was able to get around.
Buy food and stuff.
Dude, that definitely helped.
Yeah, right. So. And then 6 months later, something happened. What happened?
On April 4th, 2019, I'm getting ready to head to an event. And I was pre-gaming at the apartment before I left.
As in having a couple of beverages before you went out?
Correct. You know what I'm saying? I'm vibing, getting ready to go out. 3 officers arrived at my apartment randomly. Drug test me right down the spot. Failed the drug test.
Oh, was this good? Well, because you had a joint or something?
Yeah. Well, I put everything up, but they still was questioning me about weed and drugs and stuff like that.
This is a bit of a risky move, smoking weed in China, Chancellor. Well, this happened to, what was the WNBA lady? Brittany Griner. She had something like this happen, didn't she?
Yeah. She was in Russia. And she got caught with a cart. Yeah, like a little cartridge. It was in her luggage. I don't know if she left it in there intentionally or she forgot about it. But they caught her in the airport. She didn't even make it past, you know what I'm saying, customs.
Where do you even buy weed in China?
Well, I had 2 different connections. So it's the same as here in America. You know somebody and y'all meet up and make the exchange.
Were they Chinese or were they expats?
No, one of them was Nigerian. The other one was El Salvadorian.
Oh, Salvadorian. Wow. You could get pupusas from him as well.
Yep, fact.
And, well, that's crazy. And so you had I cannot think of anything more scary than having Chinese police come in and start shouting at you in Mandarin. And then what happened? Did they take you to the lockup?
They took me from one precinct to another precinct. Until they finally took me to the jail where I was housed. So I was locked.
Were you the only American?
For the first 3 days, I was the only foreigner, only English speaker in the cell.
So just Chinese people, Chinese criminals,
and Chinese men, none of which I can speak to.
Oh my God!
A lot of time to reflect.
And did they let you get a lawyer or speak to the embassy?
It ain't no such thing as lawyers and attorneys and judges and all of that over there. They pretty much, you meet with the warden of the jail. He tells you what your charges are, how long you're gonna be there. and all of that. But when it was my turn, he didn't say anything to me. He just handed me the form and just had me sign it and thumbprint it. It's all written in Mandarin, so I don't know what it is.
Oh my God.
But orders.
You might have signed on for 10 years. What sort of did they mention the types of jail terms that could be possible for you?
Nothing was explained to me whatsoever. Like all the communication was done when they was asking me about the drugs in my apartment. As soon as the cuffs was thrown on me, yeah, communication stopped after that point. So I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? All in orders. And
Did they ask you who gave you the weed?
yeah, my official interrogation, they asked me where'd I get it from, and I had plenty of time to come up with a story to give them at that point. So it wasn't a bad interrogation. The only uncomfortable thing was the chair that they had me sitting in. So it was this all metal chair that locked my legs, chest, arms.
Like chained up?
No, it wasn't. I wasn't chained up. It's like a chair. Like they have to open. And when you sit in there, it locks in your shins.
Gotcha. Like an old school chair, but you couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, only part of my body I could move was my head. So
Wow.
that.
I would be so scared. I'd start snitching on everybody.
I mean,
Yes.
accountability though. Accountability.
Yeah. So then what happened?
So once I'm thrown in the actual jail, we locked up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 15 men to a cell, 9 wooden beds. All I had was a plastic bowl and a plastic spoon. And on day 14, they just called my name to come on. So I'm here to tell you I did 14 days during the
And you
course of
still
time.
hadn't spoken to anybody like embassy or anybody at this point?
But I spoke with the embassy on day 9. But it wasn't much. Yeah, there wasn't much they can do. It was a brief conversation. It was just, oh, they ain't treating you inhumanely, or they ain't mistreating you. I'm like, no. Nah. Like, okay, you'll be in here for
however long they say.
Maximum a month, but you'll get out of here eventually.
All right, and then you go to court, but it's kind of different, like you said. Like you don't really have lawyers, and it's almost like a military court.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it works, but pretty much I heard that they just decide what happens and that's it. What was your experience like in that respect?
I just served my time. Once my time was served, they took me straight to my apartment to pack up the rest of my stuff, and then straight to the airport where I was deported from the country.
And what was the time? Was it a month or longer?
I did 14 days.
Oh wow, I think that's pretty good. How much weed did you have? Just a joint?
1.4 grams.
Oh yeah, just a small amount. And well, that's pretty lucky because I definitely heard some horror stories, like from Singapore and stuff. We had a couple of Australian guys got executed, but they had like a suitcase full of weed to sell. Yeah, pretty different. And then they kind of ring up the government, and the government's like, okay, we'll try, but you know, bruh, you can't be dealing over there. But anyway, that's horrific. But in the end, so you lost your original. You hadn't planned to come back, so you just had to buy a plane ticket and come back. As soon as you're out, job's obviously over, and then you ended up writing a book about your experience, and that did pretty well on Amazon. Is that right?
Yeah. So on April 4th, 2020, that calendar year later, when everything went down in China, I released the first version of 14 Days in Beijing, and I
14 days in Beijing. Yep.
I was ranked number 1 bestseller in 3 different genres for span of days. So yeah, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? To turn tragedy into triumph. And from there on, I wrote more books and started Corley Publications LLC, and now I coach people through the writing and publishing process.
Well, that's amazing because I mean that's like turning something bad into something good. You wrote the book, and the book took off, and who knows what could happen. Like you might get contacted by Netflix or something because they do like knocked up abroad shows and stuff. You still there? We lost him. He's been abducted by the Chinese parole officer.
Could be. Yeah, locked up abroad. This is a locked up abroad story. He should go on that show. What a fascinating story, Julian.
Unbelievable.
I'm amazed. I'm impressed.
Well, I'm not sure he's lost his connection, but basically what Chancellor's doing is he turned this into some experience writing books, and he learned how to write books, and he had some success writing books, and now he can help people who have a story to tell, like Chancellor did, and if they want to learn how to go through that process, how do you have a successful book that actually sells quite a few copies, and this is what Chancellor's done. So if you're interested in that, Chancellor's got a coaching service, and you can just reach out and have a chat to him. The details are in the show notes, and also Chancellor's LinkedIn if you want to touch base with him. I'm not sure, he's probably dropped off the internet there. So if you want to contact Chancellor, do so in the show notes. So thank you very much. And thank you, Mike, for coming on. And Mike is your IT guy. If you want to talk to Mike about outsourcing your IT and cybersecurity, do so. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Julian, Mr. Australia.
Mr. Australia. Well, in name only, not in physique. And I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time. Bye.